Good morning, everyone. Please stand and join in singing our opening song, I Can See Clearly Now. So appropriate for today.
It's a new year, everyone. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone, and that's the truth. And I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is a rainbow I've been waiting for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. And look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. And look straight ahead, there is nothing but blue I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Beautiful. Again, welcome this morning to the Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota. I'm Kathleen Frankert. I'm one of the licensed spiritual practitioners here, and I greet you this morning with Namaste. Namaste is the Sanskrit greeting that means the divinity in me recognizes and greets the divinity in you. And I certainly see that shining back at me this morning. And I hope that you take the opportunity to look around and see that in each other too. It's wonderful to have you here. So grateful that you would spend some time with us this morning after the service. We have some community chit-chat time. We have some great snacks and some tea, coffee, and just a chance for fellowship. So please do stick around for that. We'd love to get to spend some time with you. I'd like to especially welcome any first-time visitors. We're so happy that you would spend some time with us. Please do take the opportunity to have some community time with us, and let us extend our very sincere and warm welcome to you personally. When you arrived, you received a program from our greeter this morning, Mimi, and inside the front cover is our community declaration. So I would just now invite you to turn to that. We read that together every morning, every Sunday, to bring this to life for us as members of this community and also as individuals. So even if you're a first-time visitor, you're a member of the community today, and we certainly do invite you and everyone to now read this together. We are a spiritual center that honors all paths to God. Ours is a positive message, inspiring our possibilities and offering spiritual tools for transforming our lives and helping to make the world a better place. Here we can find peace of mind,
belonging to a spiritual home,
and a personal relationship with the God of our understanding. We are here to discover what we already know. That was lovely. Thank you. I have a few announcements this morning. It's the beginning of the year, so there's lots of new things happening and starting up and restarting. So the first thing I want to mention is the last Sunday of this month, January 26th, will be our Member Welcoming Sunday. So that will be an opportunity to recognize those who have made that membership commitment to the Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota. We also have a new class starting up in February, and it's spelled out in this little yellow flyer that was in your program, but it will be a 4-week class, and it's called Quick Start. And the reason it's called Quick Start is it's a way to sort of get a first dip or maybe a new dip into the religious science of mind teaching here that we follow and that we learn about here at the Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota. So, it's the beginning of the new year, or maybe you're just at a place in your life where you're just wondering, how can I be more practical in my spirituality? Is there a way that I could navigate life in a different way, leaning into my spiritual truth? Or maybe you just want to learn a little bit more about this teaching. All of those things and more in a 4-week class that I know will provide great benefit to you. I will be presenting that along with Jim Grove, one of our other licensed spiritual practitioners. And the address that we will be meeting at is at the home of Dan Beswick, which is less than a mile from this location. So if you're used to traveling in this part of town, you'll find it very easily. But anyway, I do invite you to sign up for it. If you have questions, I'm available after the service. There's a phone number where you could leave a message and we'll call you back. You have some time to think about it, but do consider doing something like this for yourself for the new year. I do believe that you'll have great value out of it, and we would love to have you as part of that class. Spiritual Living Circles, which is our Wednesday 1-hour evening meeting, is starting up again this coming Wednesday. That is facilitated by Jim Grove, and we'll be meeting in a new location starting this Wednesday. So please sign up at the back book table, and you'll get more information about that meeting place. But just so you know, Spiritual Living Circles are just an opportunity to sort of drop into a spiritual conversation. It takes about an hour, and the only requirement or the only thing that you have to do to prepare is read one article out of the Science of Mind magazine. Jim always sends that out several days in advance. There's a few questions that we ponder as we go through the discussion. It's very informal, but very useful tool for just remembering how to spiritually live. This is not a spiritual, hoping center. We are a spiritual living center. So the Spiritual Living Circles is a way to take what we learn in this teaching out into our lives, and this discussion is an opportunity to do that. So I do invite you to take that opportunity as well. And finally, I'll just mention that we at the Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota do believe in the power of affirmative prayer. And our spiritual practitioners are available every Sunday after service for what we call miracle moments. It's a time to have just one-on-one, a brief time of prayer support. So this Sunday, I will be that person that would be happy to meet with you after the service. We will do so privately, and we'll just spend a few minutes in prayer on whatever intention or challenge you might have on your heart that you would like some support for. And then we'll keep you in prayer for that for the coming week. So please seek me out. I'll be back by the back book table answering questions about the Quick Start class, and also available for your time of prayer support. So with that, I just now invite you to make sure that your cell phones are turned to silent as we prepare for our time of meditation. Bob and Jay are going to be leading us in a short chant. You are invited to sing along as you are moved to do so. It's called I Am Opening.
I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. We are opening. We are opening. Our hearts are ready to receive. We are opening. We are opening. Our hearts are ready to receive. We are opening. We are opening. Our hearts are ready to receive.
I am opening. We are opening. I invite you now in this stillness to take that into your heart. My heart is ready to receive. Feel, sense, and know I am opening. In this moment, I am open to knowing there is one power, one presence, one mind. And that power, presence, and mind is my mind now. As this is true for me, so it is true for each one. For all are created in the image and likeness of this power and presence. In this knowing, I affirm for each one that there is receptivity and openness to a new idea, a new thought, a new expression of life where there may be the appearance of struggle, of separation, or imbalance. I know that the new year brings each one experiences of the gifts of faith that accepts the benevolence and blessings of God to ease any burden or to illumine any path leading to fullness and love. Say to and for yourself, knowing God has no limitations, I open to this influx of infinite good. I claim it, I allow it, I accept it. So now I release this word with great gratitude and expectation for the blessings now unfolding as each are open and receptive to it. And so it is.
I am opening. I am opening. My heart to receive. I am open. I am open. My heart is ready to receive. I am open. I am open. My heart is ready to receive.
And now it's great to introduce Jay Poindexter, who's back in the house singing solo for us this morning. Welcome back, Jay.
Thank you. Good morning. Happy New Year. And applaud yourselves for entering into 2020. We did it, right? Clearer vision for all of us. Yeah. Bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. I think I finally learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I'm through grieving, and I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's finally time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before. I had a broken heart and I was slamming doors. But I'll be alright, yes, as I did once more, just as I did back then. I'm gonna rise again to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Oh,
Oh, thank you, Jay, and thank you, Bob. So perfect for looking at the new year of 2020 with 2020 vision. I know I didn't originate that, but couldn't resist it. It's good to see you all this morning and to think about our new year ahead of us. And for a lot of us, this isn't the first new year. And so, we can get a little bit jaded, I think, about, another year, and resolutions, I don't know, intentions, maybe. Well, let's just take a fresh look at that today. Because the biblical passage, the scriptures say always, behold, I make all things new. There's always newness as a spiritual truth of life and of our very being. I was amused, and maybe you too, if you get emails, and if you get a lot of, like group emails and things, and a lot of them have good messages throughout the year. But on January 1st, I went down the list, and there were, like 10 ways to have the best year ever, 22 ways to make good resolutions, the things you never knew about having about setting your goals for the new year. I mean, everybody had a formula. And one of the ones that really got my attention was 57 ways to have a better life this year. Are you ready? That's even more than one a week, so gave me a headache. And of course, there were several about how to set resolutions. Well, my theme today and for next Sunday is this, that it's not about resolutions. It's not. It's about setting the tone for the new year, but with intentions. With intentions. I mean, I don't know about you, but just the thought of making a list of resolutions makes me want to take a nap. So we're not going to do that. But here's how resolutions and intentions are different from each other. Resolutions are about changing the conditions of our lives. And the problem about that, or with that, is that we can never bring about lasting change in a condition by simply addressing the condition. Have you noticed? I mean, we can bring about short-term change, but lasting, no. It's so obvious. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with addressing the conditions and wanting to change them. But believe me, there's a better and bigger way, because most of us probably tried to change conditions. By this I mean start a new diet January 1st, start exercising, join the gym, start a new routine, and that lasts until about March. It's the way we're wired, because we're not getting at what is really behind the thing that we want to change, and then how to change it. And that's the message that you hear here every Sunday, which is that to bring about lasting change in anything, any area of our lives, is about first changing our consciousness. And by that I mean changing our perspective, our attitude, our beliefs, those habitual patterns that are going around in our heads that have created and then sustained those outer conditions. And so we learn here that the place to start is in our thinking, in our hearts, in our beliefs, and going to the bigger idea. And so that's what intentions are. Intentions are about changing our consciousness, changing our perspective, our attitudes, our habitual beliefs, and all of those things that are behind the conditions that we would like to see be different. So here's another way of looking at it. Intentions are not about looking at what we want to do, but rather at the larger idea of how we are going to be. Not doing, but being. Dr. Ernest Holmes, the architect of our philosophy, tells us this, that the larger idea, and I'm going to call that the intention, the larger idea contains the smaller idea, the lesser idea. So the intention, the larger idea, contains the lesser idea, which is the behavior, the action, the thing we want to change and have be different, showing up differently in our lives. So the intentions are the larger ideas behind our desires. I may think I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to have a better diet. I want to have a better manage my money better. Those are the smaller ideas. There's always a larger intention behind those. And here's the thing about intention and that larger idea: it always opens the way and informs us for the specifics of bringing that about then in a way that it works for us. Whatever our end goal is, the intention will inform that. So it could be that you have resolutions and goals and plans and tasks that all come after setting that intention. We call those, when they come and show up in our lives, form. So whatever the form is that you're looking for, let's start with setting an intention, not trying to change the form. And by the way, you can set an intention for the year, or you can set an intention for a day, for a specific event. Maybe there's a meeting coming up, a conversation, a trip, a medical procedure. We can use this power of intention in any of these things. Of course, today we're talking about setting an intention for the year, but we can set them anytime. And I love that, because when I'm stressing about something, I can get caught in all the what ifs and wherefores and and the possibilities and the projections, all at the level of the form. But when I can step back and set an intention of peace, of harmony, of wholeness, of strength, that contains the whole experience and changes it and gets me through it. So there are 4 characteristics of intentions. First of all, an intention has little or no reference to form. The second thing is an intention is open-ended to the point that you could never, ever check it off as fully completed. It's open-ended. The third thing about intentions is that an intention does not require, listen to this, it does not require a person or a thing to change in order for it to come about. Because I know often I will have an intention, if only so-and-so would do such and such, if only this particular material event would happen. Then, that's my intention. That's not the intention. That's a subset of that. That's a goal. So intention does not require a specific person or thing to change in order for it to manifest. Now, those things may manifest, but it isn't a requirement. And the fourth thing about intentions is once you set your intention, you will start to see it manifesting in ways that surprise you, even though the conditions may not have changed yet. But the intention will put a new quality into your moments, your days, your life. So again, intention has minimal or no reference to forms. It's open-ended. It does not require a person or a situation to change, although they may change as a result. And once you set your intention, you will start to see it impacting your life every day. It'll start to manifest in ways that will surprise you. Here's a simple example. You set the intention to be healthier and more fit. And immediately our material mind goes to which gym should I join and which nutritionist should I hire, and what diet should I go on. But before that even happens, you find you've gone somewhere on some errands and and the only parking place is about the furthest one in the parking lot. And you've got a good walk to get to your destination. Now, while you're cranking about why couldn't I get a closer parking place, stop and think your intention has just manifested in a small way. You're contributing to your fitness, which was your intention. Or the elevator doesn't work in a building. So you get to take the steps. Well, after we are through grumbling about that. I mean, it isn't a spin class, but still, you have a chance to build your fitness. Your intention starts to inform everything in ways you wouldn't even think about. You spill something, and you have to bend over and wipe it up, and you know how that goes when something's all over the floor and you're doing all kinds of. Now, it isn't Pilates and it isn't yoga, but you'll get up and you'll start feeling, I feel a little bit better. So you see, the intention can start showing up in some of the most amusing ways, but spot on. Another example for me is that a few years ago, when I was just working all the time, and I felt like I just never had any time to just have fun. So I set the intention with no idea how this was going to happen, but I set the intention to just have more fun in my life. I mean, after all, being a spiritual being is all about being joyful. All the the scriptures and the spiritual books through the ages have always said it's about being joyful and full of life, not about my nose to the grindstone. I'm never going to get a chance to play. So I set this intention. Now, a resolution or a goal along those lines would be, okay, now I'm going to schedule in more movies, more maybe dinner dates, more parties or nature hikes, schedule things. That's how I'm going to make my intention come about. But no, that would be a resolution. An intention was simply to be open. How can I have more fun? I will be open to how that shows up. And I will recognize... That's the important thing. Be sure to be open so you recognize these opportunities that appear. I had no idea how that would happen. I'm going to come back and tell you how it did happen in just a minute. But I want to draw your attention to, the speaker, writer, or author, Alan Cohen, who gave us this suggestion. He said, before you pen this day's, months, or years, or life's to-do list, I suggest you write another list instead. Or in addition to that, let it be your to-be list or your to-feel list. Your to-feel list. How do you want to feel? Whom do you want to be as you live out this year? I mean, he says, what's the use of accomplishing if you don't enjoy the journey at the end of the day or the year or at the end of your life? If you still won't have what you really want if you're focused on the thing. But the experience, the feeling, that's where the juice is. And then he takes it a step further. And you've heard us talk about this before. It's so powerful. If you can answer the question, how do I want to feel? Whom do I want to be? And then take it to the point of feeling that and being that now. You know, we can change how we feel right now. The outer circumstance may not change, but it's not easy, but we can do that. Say, wait a minute. I want to feel joyful and fun. I could start having that right now, embodying that. Well, my experience along those lines with the fun intention was that one night, not long after I had set that intention, I guess it was football season, and Super Bowl is by February, so this was leading up to the Super Bowl. I never was much of a football fan, but it happened. Erwin, my husband, was watching a game, and he said, why don't you come and watch with me for a while? So I said, okay. And I had been already working, and it's like about 10 o'clock at night, and I thought, okay, I think I can stop now. And I'm not, as I said, not even a card-carrying football fan. But I watched, and of course this was one of those games that went into triple overtime. If you've ever watched one of those games, those are nail-biters, aren't they? And before I knew it, I was on the edge of my seat. I was into it more than he was. And the big epiphany for me was, I'm having fun. I thought, who would have thought? Who would have thought? But you see, there's a wisdom in us. The Creator put it in us. That when we set the intention and trust the guidance and the process, it will lead us in ways that we could never have figured out. Now, I have not become a football fan, I want to add, but I realized then I was having fun, and I would never have put that on the list. I didn't know how, but the bigger idea did. Life did. God did. This is all about our relationship with God, with Spirit, by whatever name you want to call it, but the God of our understanding. In Daily Word magazine, I saw this the other day about intentions. My intentions set the course for an amazing life, And anytime I feel unclear about a situation that arises, I pause. And I ask myself, what am I trying to express more fully in my life at this time? Isn't that an interesting pause? When I'm feeling, you, me, I'll just speak for myself. When I'm feeling unclear about something, my first thought might not be that large. It might be, what am I going to do? I got options. I don't have options. You know where we go in that mental circle. But the question here is, what am I trying to express more fully in my life at this time? And then the article went on to say, from this place within, divine creative ideas come to me, and the wisdom of God guides me. What do I want to express more fully in my life at this time? Now that is material for an intention, because God's intention for you, for its creation, is that you express your own unique aliveness more and more and more. I have come that you might have life abundantly. That's in the scriptures, and it's in many spiritual writings, that the intention of the Creator for us is abundant living. So how does that abundant living expression of me want to show up? What's trying to show up? And I can tell you, when you ask that question, things become clear. It's a little bit like our GPS in our cars. A lot of you have GPS guidance, whatever GPS stands. I'll call it God's perfect system. How's that? But you set the intention of where you want to go, but you don't know how you're going to get there. That's why you have the GPS. And and then we trust it, don't we? Well, mostly. Sometimes that little voice is just not agreeing with the way I think I should go. But isn't that like life? So I set the end destination on my GPS, and then set out in full confidence that it's going to tell me where to go. It's going to give me little advanced signs. It's going to let me, and you have that in you. Have you noticed? Especially when we are willing to step back and say, what is the bigger idea that wants to express through me? Hints, intuitive nudges. Sometimes a door will close. Have you ever had that happen when you're driving with your GPS and it takes you someplace where, that isn't where you want to go. So turn around. How does it say? Make a U-turn as soon as you can. And if you don't, it'll make a U-turn as soon as you can. But it's going to guide you to your destination, and that is what God in us will do. Here's an example now of this intention process, but I'm going to share it with you in reverse. Because we're always setting intentions, and this may help us to look at what is the greater idea. And the reason I'm doing this now in reverse is because we have this human tendency to start at the level of form, at the level of, what's right in front of me? What can I see? What can I touch? That's the place we start, forgetting very often that there is this larger power, presence, intention there for our full living. So let's use the example of, and with apologies if you're hungry and about to go to lunch and it's still going to be an hour, so you've prepared a meal. And it's got an entree, and you got your sides, and you got the dessert. That is the form. It's just this beautiful meal. Now, there was an idea behind that, though, wasn't there? A bigger idea, a more general idea, and that was the recipes. What recipes will I use? Oh, and the ingredients. I'm going to get the ingredients. And there was a larger idea behind that, which was deciding what kind of a meal do I want to prepare. I want Italian, Thai, comfort food. And there's an even greater idea behind that, which is I want to create delicious nourishment for my body, for my guests. And behind that, an even greater idea, which at this point is probably not conscious, But it was the largest intention, the larger ideas Holmes talks about. And it was that I want to create. I want to create something. There's a creative urge in us. And the essence of life is always about creation. That is what God is always doing. Behold, I make all things new. Always there's an urge for creativity. And so that urge comes through each one of us in our own unique way, and we become God's unique delivery system for the love, the power, the presence, the creativity that God is. But it shows up differently for each one of us. We become God's delivery system for that creative energy. So in the case of the meal, that's what it was. So next time you entertain, you can really stand back and say, hey, I'm really hot stuff, because this isn't just a meal. This is an example of God's intention to create beauty and life by means of me. Now, that could be for someone else to create a song or a painting or build something or design a home. The creative urge is not specific. It's huge. It's general. And then each of us, as we set the intention to what is my life wanting to express right now by means of that creative impulse, it'll show up in the way that works for us. Because we all have unique skills, things we enjoy doing, gifts. There's a minister named Diane Harmony, Reverend Diane Harmony, who wrote an article in Science of Mind magazine a few years ago, and I love the way she puts this about our intentions again. She said our intentions come from our soul consciousness, our spiritual essence, the mind of our heart. See, even when I'm asking, as from the daily word portion, what does my life want to express right now? That's more than just an intellectual exercise. That's going into the heart. That's going into the very depths of our being. And she calls it the mind of our heart. And so she says, when we set an intention, we are aligning ourselves with our soul's desire for expression. And I really believe that at our soul level is where we are really in touch with the infinite. Again, whatever the Creator and how it wants to express for us. God in us and as us. And so she says our intentions are divine ideas. They're divine ideas. They are God qualities. So when you think about qualities of God that can be endless, infinite, because it is infinite and infinite, but it can be, as I said, creativity, love. Maybe the intention is for balance, harmony, beauty, freedom, expansiveness, power, joy, abundance, peace. And in our willingness then to have these manifest through us, we become co-creators with God, co-creators with Spirit. We become truly that delivery system for something greater. And when we do this, and it isn't all about me, all about you. It's about the ripple effect that goes out, because when we are opening ourselves to be a direct line to the infinite, creating through us by our soul's intentions, that cannot help but lift the people around us and bless the people around us. Knowing this too, you realize you are not alone. Sometimes when we set our goals or our list of things we want to accomplish, it can feel daunting because we generally think of it as, this is something I got to do myself. When you're coming from intention, from your soul's intention, what is your life wanting to express? What is God wanting to express by means of you? You obviously are not alone. You have the force of life, of Spirit, right there co-creating with you. I love knowing that. Because then I'm not limited by my fears and my physical limitations, my skill limitations might be. I'm not limited by those because God is not limited. So your assignment is to sit quietly this week and maybe today and just ask that question. What does my life want to express now? And know that that is, what does God want to express by means of me? And then let it formulate into an intention, a very simple one. And it could be a one word. It could be a short phrase of something that is larger than any, remember, larger than any form that is open-ended. You may want a year of freedom and expansiveness. You may want a year of creativity, a year of wisdom, a year of strength that you didn't know you had. And then your assignment is to pay attention to all the nudges, the guidance, and the doors that open along the way. I can promise you they will start almost immediately. They may be very small, but they're there. Remember the still small voice of Spirit. It's always there. Pay attention. And this will be a year that will eclipse anything you experienced before. In closing, I want to leave you with this quote by Dr. Ernest Holmes again. And remember, when you're setting the intention, when I say you're co-creating with Spirit, someone put it in these terms, said, let God do the heavy lifting. Let God do the heavy lifting. You set the intention. You be available. And here's what he said then. See the desire, the intention, as an already accomplished fact. And then rest in perfect confidence, peace, and certainty, never frantically looking for specific results, never wondering, never becoming anxious, hurried, or worried. Simply rest in perfect confidence, peace, and certainty. And with that, let that sink in as Jay closes us out with the song, Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow, because that's what we're doing. We're always looking at the expansiveness. What does my life want to be today in the next minute? And that's what I mean by tomorrow. Happy New Year, and so it is. Thank you.
Feel free to sing along with this one. I'm sure many of you have heard it before. If you think, wake up and don't want to smile, if it takes just a little while, open your eyes and look at the day. You'll see things in a different way. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be here, better than it was before. Yesterday's gone, yesterday's gone. About the times to come and not about the things that you've done. If your life was bad to you, just think what tomorrow will do. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be here, better than before. Yesterday's gone, yesterday's gone. All I want is to see you smile, if it takes just a little while. I know you don't believe that it's true. I never meant any harm to you.
you. Thank you both. We got our marching orders, don't we?
Clear Vision 2020.
Yep.
Now it's time for our offering. At the Center for Spiritual Living, we believe that gratitude and expressing it through our tithes and our offering is a spiritual practice as we participate in the flow of financial support of this universe, of God, of the generosity of spirit. So we just appreciate so much your sharing of your financial good with this ministry. And so now I just invite you to take your gift in your hand and place it over your heart and bless it and share it. And know with me, my gift goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper. And the divine flow returns it to me, multiplied abundantly. And altogether, I invite you to repeat after me. I give thanks.
I give thanks.
That I may share.
That I may share.
Of my good.
Of my good.
My love.
My love.
And my support.
My support. And I give thanks for you. You are a blessing in so many ways. So let's sing, I am so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And now as Harry brings forth our offering, we just take this opportunity to bless it as a community and know that in gratitude, as we have given this, so it was returned to us multiplied abundantly, because that's how the law works. We are so grateful for this blessing and for knowing this truth. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is.
So again, I just invite you for coffee and conversation after the service. There's some goodies put out on the table, I see. They have miraculously appeared. We have miracle moments. If you would like some prayer support, please see me. I'll be at the back book table. Also, you can sign up there for the Quick Start class or the spiritual living circles that start up on Wednesday. I invite you all to have a wonderful week. And now stand and join in singing our closing song, Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God our Creator. We are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my sign.